You actually clicked on this video. I'm proud of you. That means you just completed step 1, admitting you have a problem. After admitting you have a problem, you can move on to step 1.5, forgiving yourself. You are not a moral failure for being messy. Messiness is just a trait. But if you want to change this trait, you can move on to step 2, deciding you want to become more organized. And now we're ready to move on to step 3, embracing technology as an organizational tool. So if you're still writing paper to-do lists, or paper notes, or paper anything, and you have ADHD, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Here's the thing about paper. It's two-dimensional, which means when it's lying flat somewhere, it's basically invisible, which doesn't help you when you need to locate it. In my last video, ADHD and Messiness, I talked about losing a syllabus for one of my college classes and staying up all night looking for it. And I wish this were an exaggeration, but it's not, and this would happen all the time. Until my college switched to an online method of distributing course materials. And when they did that, it changed my life, because as long as I had access to the internet, I could access all of my course materials. Suddenly, I was spending so much less time on my assignments, because I was spending the time actually doing the assignments, not trying to find things. And that's when I realized I could transfer so much of my paper clutter to my computer and my phone. And then as long as I could keep track of my electronics, I wouldn't be constantly losing things. So at the very least, I would definitely recommend switching from paper to-do lists and calendars to online to-do lists and calendars. I personally love Google Calendar because it's really comprehensive but still super easy to use, and you can color code it, and it's magical, as long as you remember to use it. Speaking of remembering things, you can also use your electronic devices to set yourself reminders. I find the easiest way to do this is just to set an alarm on my phone and write whatever it is that I have to do as the description. Boom, done. Just don't snooze that alarm too many times. Moving on to step number 4, break up organizational tasks into small chunks. Now, if your room ever gets as messy as my room, you will understand that writing laundry on my to-do list just really isn't enough. Because there are clothes all over my room, like clean clothes and dirty clothes just strewn hither and yon. So laundry becomes a lengthy, multi-step process. First, I need to sort my clothes into piles of clean and dirty. Then, I need to put the dirty clothes in a basket. Then, I need to bring the basket downstairs and put the clothes in the washing machine. Then, I need to come back upstairs and put away all the clean clothes, etc., etc. It's very hard to break down a task and order the steps clearly in my head. It's like my brain tells me all the steps at once and I can't decipher one at a time, and it's just all a big jumble and I just get really overwhelmed and paralyzed. So write it down and break it up into as many steps as you need to. I like to use my whiteboard for this because A, it's conveniently located right next to my bed so I know I won't lose it, and B, because I have pretty colors of markers, so it's actually fun to use, so I actually use it. Step number 5, garbage cans are your friends. So I have 3 separate wastebaskets in my room, one on either side of my bed and one in my bathroom. I know it sounds silly, but having more places to throw things away helps me remember to throw things away. Because if I'm in a flow state writing a poem in bed and I'm eating a popsicle, am I gonna get up and walk to the bathroom to throw away the popsicle stick? Hell no! Having a wastebasket right next to my bed means I just need to reach over and drop it in. It's a great solution. Lazy? Yes. Effective? Also yes. Step number 6. When you get a burst of inspiration to clean, run with it. Sometimes I actually get in a cleany mood, usually right when my meds kick in. Utilize these moments to the best of your abilities because, well, who knows when you're gonna have another one.
Hi, honey. You want to be in the movies? You want to be in my movie?
Step number 7, listen to music. Music has this amazing ability to make boring, unpleasant activities suck a lot less, like working out and driving and cleaning. If you haven't tried this yet, do it. You and your room will thank me. Step number 8, congratulate yourself. I'm gonna be really real with you guys. I'm still a very messy person. I'm a less messy person than I used to be, but people don't necessarily know that. And people don't necessarily understand how much of an accomplishment it is for me to just be pretty messy. Instead of so messy that when people used to see my car, they would ask me if I was living in it. Other people won't congratulate me for being pretty messy, but I can congratulate myself because I know how much of an improvement that is. And you can congratulate yourself on your progress, no matter what anyone else thinks. Step number 9, have realistic expectations. In addition to ADD, I also struggle with just a little bit of perfectionism. I fall into black and white thinking a lot, where I'm like, I'm not just gonna clean my room is gonna be fucking spotless. And sometimes it is, for a day. And then, inevitably, it'll start to get messy again. And I will feel like a failure. And then I'll get into that whole thing of like, fuck it, it's useless, and then everything will be strewn everywhere again in like 2 days. It's a vicious cycle. Don't get caught in this vicious cycle. Remember that you don't have to be perfect at this thing that's really hard for you. Be gentle with yourself, please. And last but not least, step number 10, ask for help. Not when it comes to organizing your space, because you probably know where you want everything and where things are supposed to go, but when it comes to organizing your schedule, don't be afraid to ask for a little leg up from people you trust. For instance, if one of my coworkers wants me to cover a shift for them and it's like 6 weeks away, I'll be like, sure, of course. And would you mind reminding me again closer to the date? And people are almost always so willing to do that. Now, obviously, you don't want to ask the wrong person to do this. Like if you have a job interview and you've never met this person before, I would not advise asking your potential employer to remind you of the date of your interview. That just looks pretty unprofessional. But with people you know who will still love you if you ask them for a little bit of help with something that's hard for you, go for it. And that's all I've got for today. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you have any other tips on how to stay organized with ADHD, please comment them down below. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you next time. And maybe my cat will crash that video too.
You just wanted to be in my video. Well, how could I say no to you? Hi, honey. Oh, what a sweet kitty.